Everyone, just hopping on here to share a bit about how we work with neurosensory voice work. In particular, if you're a therapist or a coach, practitioner who works with people. And I just want to make a clarification. So we do in neurosensory voice work, hence the name, we work primarily with the voice. That said, there can be a pitfall, and the pitfall can be that we think we've got to make sound, and that is a real trap. So in neurosensory voice work, we see the voice as emerging from an inner response. So we're not using voice to come in with the mind or to say something primarily or to try and move or shift energy from a sort of top-down attitude. We are working with the voice. We are listening to our physiology, our bodies, tracking sensation and allowing expression to emerge. And obviously when we start, sometimes it's just helpful to start with some sounds to get over that initial inhibition. But once you are more comfortable making sounds, and especially if you are a singer or who's somebody who has worked with voice professionally, any kind of singer, whether you're a shamanic singer or a classical singer or whatever, for you, it is even more important to slow down because you have an experience with voice, because you already have a kind of habitual way of launching into sound, a sort of default programming. It is even more important to step back and slow down and watch the response that happens before you make sound. So, for example, if you're there and you're wanting to work with your voice, as we do in neurosensory voice work, you will observe and be with your sensations. And then notice the moment you hold the intention to make a sound, what happens to your body in response? Like what does your body do? How does it mobilize? And what changes happen in your breath, posture, and everything when you're about to make sound? And this is the key. This is the crux of the whole thing. Because if you don't listen to that, you just do more of the same. You launch in the same way. Okay, so it's really dialing that back. So because I have a background in classical singing, I'm really, really aware of this. And as many of you, if you are a singer wanting to use this to help you with technical difficulties or vocal difficulties or emotional difficulties, it's the dialing back. And if you have a lot of experience, you might even have to make less sound. So like for me, because I have a classical training, I've done so much work. I've now fine-tuned this ability to be able to attune to my body, listen to the sensation, understand the breath, feel the places that I might be holding on. And then I just listen and I am with that. And I, for example, very rarely now need to make sound because I have that ability to regulate without the sound. Okay, but the sound and working with voice gave me the ability to able to learn this interoception and build this capacity to be able to track my sensations, to be able to feel what is going on inside. Okay. So the temptation, especially if we're good, and even if we're good at this work in neurosensory voice work, the temptation is still always to like, oh, I feel this thing. I want to connect the sound to it so I can start moving it. So I start feeling an expansion, a relaxation, if it's, for example, a tightness. And that again, if we can start to connect the sound to a place that is tight, but careful, because if you catch yourself having the intention to want to shift it, you are already overriding it. Okay, so we don't want cathartic expression. We want to welcome and embrace any sensations. And what then happens is what Peter Levine talks about. And he says in particular that, you know, pain is trapped sensation. So if you're feeling pain, that trapped sensation is first going to express and be felt as emotion. Okay, so give your system the time. If you're feeling pain and you do some voice work and you feel emotion well up, that is your cue. That is like, wow, you've done it. Now welcome and be kind to that emotion. Don't force it into expression too quickly. Don't try and, you know, get it out too fast. Otherwise, the nervous system won't have time to reorganize and understand what has gone on. That is one tip, okay? There was another one there. I'll probably have to come back in another video because I've forgotten what it was. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Do leave a comment or questions if you have any, as this is profound work that takes time and patience with yourself, but it's a beautiful way to build that self-compassion and to build that capacity of being with your inner experience.